up, I was really desperate for some sort of community that was centered around music. Every time we go out and play a show, I always just think about that. I'm like, these are my people. It all started for me with a video of Elvis Presley. I saw that when I was in first grade and immediately became obsessed with rock and roll. Wanted a guitar, got an acoustic guitar, but really I wanted an electric guitar. And so I used to just go in this music shop in Paris, Texas, and one day there was a man named Roosevelt Twitty in there playing Lightning Hopkins style blues. And he asked me if I liked the blues, and I said, I don't know what that is. And he said, what I'm doing is the blues, and I said, I love it. He became my best friend, started picking me up from school and showing me records like Freddie King and Bobby Bland and Elmore James, and we'd just sit and play guitar together. And through the blues, I got into even more rock and roll and was always fascinated with where the inspiration came from. Like if I went to see the Black Crowes, I wanted to know what they were listening to. Yeah, I've just been chasing it down ever since I was a little kid. My relationship with Fender it's been going on long before I ever knew anybody at Fender. I always wanted a shell pink Strat. I grew up playing Strats when I was a kid. I came from Texas, you know, so it's sort of a rite of passage, and there were so many great Strat players from Texas, you know, like obviously the Vaughn brothers, but then like in Dallas, there was this guy named Anson Funderburg that I was obsessed with, and Austin had Alan Haynes, and there are all these just guys that would show up at jams, and one guy would be digging in, another guy would be playing real tasteful back by the bridge, another guy's using the selector switch as a wah-wah, and it just seemed like a really versatile instrument to me. I got a shell pink Strat right before I moved to Nashville, so I would have been probably 16 years old. I moved to Tennessee when I was 17, and I carried that guitar around with me forever, man. I got to go out on the road with Jeff Beck and play it on stage with him, and it was sort of my traveling companion. And it got stolen in Spokane Valley, Washington, and it was missing for 5.5 years. And in the meantime, both my parents worked multiple jobs my whole life. They pulled together some money, borrowed some money from a friend, you know, whatever they did, and they got me this guitar. And I've been carrying it around ever since. So, and this guitar was beautiful when I got it, and it's just kind of been used and abused, and there's pink paint chips all over the world, and I'm really proud of it. So when Fender approached me about doing a signature model guitar, it was like, it has to be this one. So we came up with this. I grew up in this town of 1,700 people, and so I was desperate to make friends who were into what I'm into. I had nobody to talk about Freddie King with, or nobody to talk about Jeff Beck with. Like, don't you guys get this? And so now it's kind of cool to get to meet people all over the world who are just into the same stuff that I'm into and be able to have a conversation with them. And that's really probably one of the biggest perks of doing this. Keep it joyful for yourself, you know, like keep your childlike enthusiasm alive, whatever it takes. If you're doing something for any reason and it's squashing that, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. If a door closes, there's gonna be one that'll open, so you can't get discouraged and let the business beat you down. I mean, I think about 2015, our band barely did any shows, you know, and I was going, why can't we go out and play? 2016, we were on a world tour with AC/DC. It wasn't like some thing that just happened. We were working hard, you know, and you got to do that, you know, even when you get discouraged, you've got to keep working. Whenever there's no one there to remind you of your value, you have to remind yourself, you know, because it's not a kind way to make a living for a lot of people, you know. It's got to mean something to you.